So the Eastern guru says that this world is an illusion. There really is no guru. There is no seeker. There is no enlightenment. There is no path. There is no world. There is only the appearance of continual creation. And then I, as a Westerner, look at that and I say, well, very well, let's get on with it. And the problem is that getting on with it, well, that requires a chorus. I cannot get on with the activity of living in such a way that not only do I know conceptually that all phenomena are empty of self-nature, of permanency, of any sense of solidity, such that I could have something in this world. Because not only is there not an object to be held, but there is not a subject to hold. Both of them are appearances. When I realize that, it requires that I act in a certain way. Or it doesn't require it. It's not as though it's the realization, the conceptual realization, then sort of pulls the rest of your being along with it and says, this is how it is, so we have to behave this way. Like it's just a new moral code or something. It's not that we need a new moral code. It's that we need a new way, a new perspective of experiencing ourselves. A new living myth, possibly. Because, it's only been very recently that it were even plausible to not believe in God. 100 years, 150 years, maybe 200 years. But the idea of atheism, of man alone, as nothing but the accidental outcome of a huge machine which builds itself. And yet somehow, man has claimed the power of God, the power which God held to know the world, to create the world. Man has now assumed that power is no less miraculous. It has only been swallowed up by the ego, and now we project that power onto our own egos instead of this universal Godhead. And that may have done a lot for equal rights, because in a sense, we all came to see a bit of God in ourselves. But we stole that identity from the cosmos. We sucked it all into, all of the celestial spheres of the Middle Ages, which represented heaven. All of that just got sucked into our own individual identities, and we control our own destinies. We create our own realities. Thought is reality. I think, therefore I am. Descartes wasn't an atheist, but I think his loyalty to the church was merely political, and he did not really believe in God. He gave man God's power and said man can know the beauty of the creation of God because God says so. We've only had this ability for a few generations, and in the grand scheme of humanity, we're pretty young at this game of being our own God. and we're still evolving through it. And I think the primary problem, the primary aspect of the struggle that's holding us back is that we cannot learn how to see beyond our ego. In a sense, allowing God into our personal lives gives us an advantage, but we've become addicted to it and grasped after this power as though it were ours to wield at the expense of others. But God is the all. Myself, you, everybody is one self. One self experiencing itself from many perspectives.